worthy by design.
Now, what do you do when unexpected opportunities just show up? Like, man, or you probably have prepared for this opportunity for so long and it's like a life opportunity, but you didn't think it will come so soon. You know, that kind of faith that is like maybe in another 10 years, in another 20 years. Or it came in a manner you didn't expect, right? These opportunities come in work clothes. It didn't come looking so nice. Now, do you coil in and recommend somebody else? Probably somebody else is better at this. Or you seize the moment. Man, I have waited for this all my life. And what do? You be that person. Hello. Thanks for joining us on today's edition of Worthy by Design, brought to you by Advent Cable Network Nigeria, ACNNTV. On this show, we focus on the journey from girlhood to womanhood and everything in between, and virgins. Welcome. Now, our conversation today is on be that person. To do justice to this with me is my homegirl, Nomsu Orji. I call her the, what's that title again?
Lead researcher.
The lead researcher. Trust me, she does a lot of work researching most of the conversations we have here. So today, we'll be discussing this beautiful conversation, be that person. Let's pick it up from there. What does it mean to be that person?
Well, I think simply you could just say it's to step up.
Mm.
It's to be there when you're needed, when you're called upon, to actually stand up and say, yes, I can be this person in this situation. I've prepared for this. I'm ready for this. So nothing else is holding me back. I can stand up. I can step up. I can fill that position. I can be the person I need to be in this situation. So.
I can stand up, I can feel that position, I can be the person I need to be. Now let's continue from there. I can be that person I need to be. So that means that different situations require that you express yourself differently. There's no straight jackets, as a carpenter. If you're taken to probably to a building site, you're expected to be a carpenter.
Yeah.
But if a carpenter is taken to an interior decoration site, you're not expected to be working on the wood. You're probably expected to do something on the interior. So is that what you're trying to say? That different situations require different sets of skills?
Yes. You cannot limit yourself to say that this is the only, put yourself in a box and say this is the only thing that I can do, this is the only thing I can be, this is the only situation where I can show my skills, or I can do something in this situation. So wherever you find yourself, even as a woman can be a wife, can be a mother, can be a daughter, and can be all those roles beautifully in a wonderful manner. So you do not just say this is only the only reason why I was able to learn this, or the only reason why I was able to pick up this skill, or to have these qualities, is only to fit into this particular situation. When other situations come up that fit that particular thing that you have learned, or fit who you are as a person, it's important to not just wait for somebody else to take that role, or sit back and watch as things honestly, or even just scatter. You just let it be going, no problem.
They no go call my name
at all. But it's important, instead of waiting to be picked up, when you can stand up and prevent something from going bad, or you can stand up and ensure something goes as it should go, it's important to stand up and be the person that is needed in that situation. Yeah.
So it's about taking responsibility, whether or not you are invited to the scene. You stand up. I just remembered the story of Jesus. at the wedding in Cana of Galilee. You know, when the mother said, these people don't have wine, no. And Jesus said, I beg you. This is not what I came for. I came to enjoy. I came to flex. You understand? You know, that's like our lives on a daily. You know, when you get to a place and you see that, things are not going, wait till carry me come this place. I just can't flex. I just can't relax. But, you know, Jesus did not stick to that. He remembered that, for a time like this, probably this is why I was sent. So if I refuse to do this, these people might probably get embarrassed.
Yeah.
You understand? So this was him, and this was the first miracle he did. He probably didn't even know, I'm just saying, he could do a miracle until he did that miracle. Do you understand? He probably didn't exercise his faith in that direction until he did that miracle, and it was like, whoa, okay, this is God launching you into something different. So I'm just looking at be that person as an opportunity that shows up like that for Jesus, right?
Yeah.
It shows up for us. It's not something you have done before. So being that person might not even be a familiar opportunity. In fact, it might not be that you learned that skill. It might be that you learn something radically different from what you are required to do. But it requires you to utilize the skills, the knowledge, the experience, the exposure you have gathered from other things to apply to this opportunity that just wants you, that is begging for your attention. So maybe we shouldn't be so fixated. We should be flexible enough to allow ourselves, you know, unfold. You know, it's like a flower. When you come today, you see that, this flower just opened up a little bit, and tomorrow it's like it keeps opening up. If we don't become the persons we are supposed to be in different situations, we would never find the different layers of our ability. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Yes, it does. Because even when you have a course you have studied for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years even, then you come out of the university and you come to the real world, and there are many opportunities everywhere. And perhaps what's calling your name, or you know, what's looking attractive to you, or what you feel where you should be, is completely different from what you studied in school.
True.
But the problem then would be, you'd be wondering, what would people say? Or doesn't this seem beneath me, considering all the time I've spent doing something else, or all the time I've invested into this other course? But in situations where opportunities arise, as long as you know you can fit into that position, even if it's not something maybe you've studied in school all this while, if it's completely different from even your career at the moment or something, as long as you believe that, oh no, God is leading me in this direction, you need to stand up. You need to be
You never know
fit
how
into
life
that
leads.
position. Yes, it's not, life isn't something that you were born one day and then you write down your plan, okay, from A to B to C to D. I have never met someone who has gone that particular
All
kind of
figured
path.
out.
Yes, I've never met someone like that. But it's those situations that even come out of the blue that can be life-changing sometimes. You didn't know it would be this way, but it just came about. You went that direction, and your entire life changes for good. So,
Boom.
yes.
You're like, you know, it's like when you take the opportunity, it's like, wow, this is what I've been looking for. You know, sometimes we look for things and we never really realize that this is what I am looking for. Have you ever looked for something and you're trying to remember, what am I even looking for? I think that's how life feels sometimes. You never really figure out how you want your life to go. You have an idea, you know, tiny ideas here and there, but you're not able to bring them together because somehow you haven't met that opportunity that helped you connect the dots.
Yeah.
So I feel like being that person a lot of times help you connect the dots of those, you know, disjointed ideas you have in your head. You're like, wow, okay, so this is what I have been looking for all my life. Because you find that it stirs up some kind of excitement within you that first you could render a solution to a problem.
Yeah.
It also feels like, oh, wow, so I had this in me. I never knew. You understand? So I feel like giving yourself the opportunity to be you, being that person, means that you're being you. This is the real you. The real you is not just one thing. The real you is a collection of all those opportunities you decide to cash into.
Mm.
Whoa, we're going somewhere. Amazing. Now, the question would be why? So, if being that person is so important in the fulfillment of our life's purpose or in helping us find direction, right, in life, why is it that we're not stepping into that shoe?
Well, one would definitely be fear.
Mm.
You know, being so afraid. What would happen? This isn't me. So this is so unusual for me. So what happens if I go into this fear in different ways? Really, fear of failure, fear of
Taking
embarrassing yourself, even
responsibility.
responsibility. Yes, you go into that place and can I really handle it? You feel perhaps this is too big. You know, it will overwhelm you. You don't even realize you still have help in God, and at that point,
Or
you
this
just
does not look like me. It's not
no,
my person.
yes, it's not my kind of person. I mean, or you're scared you're changing everything you've felt all your life. Perhaps my favorite color all my life has been blue. And then I meet a color and it's maybe yellow. And I want to stick so hard to what I know. I cannot say I love yellow because blue is what I've loved all
And
my
everybody
life.
knows I love
Everybody
blue.
knows I love blue.
So why change it?
Why should I change it? I mean, I wanted to study medicine growing up. There are people who still call me doctor today, and I just laugh it off because life took me in a very, or God took me in a very different path. But if you do not realize that you need to step up and put aside all those fears that mostly are very unfounded anyway,
True.
because even when you step into those situations, sometimes there are even novel ideas, there are new situations. People haven't really handled that matter
True,
before. So
true.
you handling it is bringing up a new way to handle the problem. Your solution that's in placed within you is not just placed in every single person. So we need to put aside our fear of failure. We need to put aside our fear of responsibilities, our fear of being overwhelmed, our fear of not being enough.
Good enough.
Yes.
Thank you. That's very
Yes,
important.
and be the person that we need to be or we have to be in all the situations that God has called us to step up in.
But I think this is, maybe I should say this. It's important for us as young people, right? Because we go to churches, we go to our churches, we go to different organizations or bodies where we belong. And guess what? We sit behind. Not their thing. I beg, leave all these old people. You know? There's an opportunity to either serve in the choir, serve as an usher, serve in the children's department, serve somewhere, right? It helps you realize who you really are. Personally, I never believed I would be in the children's department. Hello, what am I doing there? I never believed I always believed I would, remain in the choir, sing,
Join us in
lead,
media.
that kind of thing. I never believed I would leave the choir and be in the children's department. But guess what? Hello? There's somebody who is no longer in the choir. And that person is me. I'm in the children's department. Trust me, I'm very fulfilled being there. You understand? So sometimes if we allow ourselves to just free yourself. Don't hold on to, oh, I beg these old people, they don't go agree us do anything. Join up somewhere, be useful somewhere. That's where we get mentored,
Yeah.
right? That's where we see opportunities too. That's where we can share other people's experiences. Why? So we don't make the kind of mistakes they have made. But if you don't, mix up with the people you should be mixing up with, you never know some of the things you should know, and you keep making the mistakes they made when you would have avoided it just by being that person. So there are a lot of things being that person helps us do. So I think we should come to the end of just being docile and passive as ladies. You just put on that your beautiful dress, have good makeup on, take beautiful pictures on Sunday morning, and then you go and sit at the back of the church.
And criticize.
For God's sake, get useful. Get doing something. Being in church going to church is just beyond just walking in and walking out. We learn by being in church. We learn how to add value. We add value to ourselves by being there. We learn communication skills. We learn interpersonal skills, right?
Yeah.
You're part of an organization. Don't just hang behind. I beg. This thing, I don't want to make anybody know me. I beg. Before you know, and they will begin to send you message. It is in the place of that service that
Yeah.
we develop ourselves. So I encourage us as young ladies, whether in fact, guys, ladies, fathers, mothers, let all of us open up ourselves to the opportunities around us. Parents, do not agree. Refuse to let your children just sit down beside you in church. Seriously, I was in secondary school when I came on holiday, and you know that all the secondary school fever, you come back and you feel like a big girl, like you have arrived. So I come back home for holiday and sit at the back of the church. When they stand up to do praise and worship and all of that, I'll just stand up and I'm forming, hello, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
After service, my father called me and said, if you try that nonsense again, we'll address it properly. Now, when you come to church, find somewhere to be useful. Excuse me, I'm just in secondary school. What do you expect me to do? He said, find somewhere to be useful in church. And then you're not permitted to just stand there. When everybody is dancing, make sure you're dancing. When everybody is doing something, make sure you're doing it along with them. Man, that was a turning point for me. Because it's sowed a seed in me that you don't just go to church, follow your parents to church. You follow them to church and you get useful in church. So I encourage parents, I encourage mothers, I encourage fathers. Encourage, even if you don't want to join. My mother will say, my own life has passed. Your time has probably passed, but that's of your children. They still have a lot of years trailing them. So don't let them lose their lives without even starting and digressing. All right. So we have said some of the things that keep us from, stepping out, from being that person. Fear and the fear of failure, fear of taking responsibility and all of that. But like you said, all those fears are unfounded.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing inside. Because by the time you take that step, you realize that there's really nothing to be scared of in the first place. In fact, even if we make a mistake, let's even talk about that, right? I step up, I decide to be that person. Somehow it didn't work out. What do I do? Should I stop trying? Should I refuse to be that person? Say me. I am not that person. That person is another person. Is that what I should do?
Well, I think that's also another reason why people do not step up. Scars from past experiences. Maybe you've tried before and you failed. Maybe there was a presentation to be done and you came and you tried. And it's not like you didn't try. You did try and you failed. So you feel, well, never again. From now henceforth, I will be in the shadows. I would be in the background. I would never step up again to do something where I'm supposed to. No, I believe that you do not let failure steer you away from what you're supposed to do. Failure is an opportunity for growth, really. In every failure, every time that you fail, there's an opportunity to grow. There's an opportunity to learn. That you failed means you can learn. That you failed means you can still pass.
There's
that
something
there's
you
still,
can do better.
Yes, there's a room for improvement. But how do I know that I have failed? I would fail until I step into that position and actually fail. How do I know that I'm weak in a particular subject, for instance, until I write the exam and for fail. That and fail it? Let me then go back and read and prepare myself better for the next time that comes up. But we do not need to let our past experiences of failure or our scars hinder us from being who God wants us to be or who we are supposed to be in certain situations. Your scars, your past experiences are beautiful to make you into a beautiful masterpiece, to make you someone that has grown past that stage. Yes, but you do not let them just be something that would hinder you. Let the past stay in the past. Pick what you need from those experiences and move into the future so that your past does not completely define your future or future opportunities that would come your way. If not, you just end up missing things over and again because you're holding on so hard to mistakes or to errors or to scars from the past. When more and more opportunities are coming your way, I think person that invented electricity tried over and over. And I'm really grateful that he kept on trying because I'm not so sure. I don't know how I would be right now without electricity. So
this studio would have been dark.
Very, very.
But he chose to be that person.
Yes.
That held on.
Yes.
We'll go on a very short break. When we return, there's plenty more to be talked about. Just stay with us.
Hello viewers, welcome to this week's episode on Health Watch on Advent Cable Network Nigeria. I am Angela Emeka Ebibo.
what we need as humans is to have a good spiritual life. It's more important than having an abundance of possessions without a healthy spirit.
We have issues that relate to sexual affairs. There is something called consent. If a person says no, that means she or he hasn't given their consent.
My mother delivered children on her own. A baby that is too big, how do you want it to come out without having issues?
Your faith does not negate you going for a medical check or engaging in a medical therapy. It doesn't.
The patient has his own rights, and this right has to do with the right patient, the right drug, the right dose, the right duration. You understand? Even the right time in how it is given.
Worthy by design.
Right, welcome back. We have been having this intense, beautiful, insightful conversation on Be That Person. And you know what we concluded? I am that person. You are that person for that opportunity. Yes. So now let's talk about some people who have cashed in on opportunities they ordinarily would have passed on.
Okay. Well, in biblical times, for instance, I think I love that we've had a series ongoing, lessons for women, from women for women. And we've actually dealt with some of these ladies in the Bible who stepped up. I think, remember when we talked about Jael, who had no business with a 10th peg, well, she stepped up and became the person who God used as an instrument for Israel's deliverance. And Esther too, I remember that Mordecai told her, what if you were, in this position just for such
this
a
opportunity,
all.
just to be that person.
That's all. And they stepped up. Anna too, that we talked about. And Lydia, it's important for us to look back and see in the Bible there were women, there were even men who stepped up, who became that person they needed to be in those situations. Even John the Baptist. So I love when people say
the lone voice in the wilderness.
Yes, the prophecies that were about that position that he stepped up to fill. They don't have the name John the Baptist. His name was not there. So he saw that, and by the leading of God, he moved into that position and became who was necessary. He became the forerunner of Christ. So you do not just calm down and look at a prophecy and say, well, wow, one day it will come.
Amen.
Hallelujah, somebody.
Or maybe probably destiny helper. Destiny.
Yes. What I see, I think it's funny how sometimes you hear things like you said in church and everything, and then you just sit down and you look around at everybody around you, or maybe they say somebody here is going to be the next president of Nigeria.
Amen.
And you look around and you're saying the amen. You're saying the amen on behalf of other people around you, because you never expect that. Oh no, this can be me one day. No, it cannot be. What business do I have with politics? But even in the Bible, these people stood up when they needed to. They stepped up, they stepped into those positions, and they became that person that God used in all those situations. So nothing is really stopping us from being who God can use. If God says, I'm looking for a man, I need somebody to do this, I need somebody to do this, and you look at the Father and say, oh Lord, this is a wonderful prayer point. Father, provide somebody that will
raise
do this.
a man. Raise a man.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times we're always looking for other people to be something for us. Do you understand? Instead of us saying, God, make me that person so that I can be that person for other people. I think that's a better prayer point, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not so much about God will help us, right? God will help us. Because when I think of the whole issue of, being believers, we have just allowed everything remain on the pages of the Bible, right? And then we claim the prophecy in abeyance without any action following. When we say be that person, it involves an action. Be is an action word. What is? No, it's a verb, right?
That's an
A
action
verb,
word.
right, is an
Right.
action word. So it requires that you are doing something. It's not just affirming, the fact that something is happening. You are doing something. You are putting your skills to work. You are deliberately developing capacity. If we want to get to a particular position in life, this is who I want to be in future. You're developing capacity for who you want to be, so that when that big opportunity to be that person comes up, you're like, I have been ready for this. I have prepared for this all my life, and I think I am ready to step into this shoe. It also reminds me of what's his name, Moses. Moses had every reason not to return to Egypt.
Yes.
And valid reasons for that matter, not to return to Egypt. You killed a man, an Egyptian for that matter, buried him in the sand, and ran away. After how many years? You came back to the same place. Are you not coming back to your death trap? Do you understand? He
Yes.
had no reason to be that person that would take the children of Israel out of Egypt. But hey, the lot fell on him, and he had to. So it's like there's some things you have no reason, or there's some positions you have no reason to dream of being in. But somehow, because this is who you have to be for things to change, for certain people, for things to change for your family, for things to change for that woman in the village, even if it is beneath you. That is very important. Sometimes we like class, we like to look at the accolades, being the celebrity status and all of that. We like to look at the fame. But it's also important to look at those things that seem not to bring us any flashy benefits, any benefits anybody will hear of, but will bring the kind of benefits that the woman in the village is happy to wake up in the morning knowing that somebody did something for me I would never have done for myself. I think that is an important aspect to talk about. It's not about the cameras, it's not about the lights, it's not about what anybody can see.
Yes, if one person's life is impacted, just one life is changed, and I think it's worth doing. It's worth doing. If what you do will just change just the life. If perhaps you write a book and just one person reads it and just one person finds peace, and I think even that is worth doing. And I also think that we need to be able to be willing to learn in certain situations, because there could also be opportunities, and perhaps maybe in the church they need someone to handle maybe cameras, or they need somebody to handle something. It is very possible to stop and learn that thing to be able to work or function in that position. But like you said, sometimes you'd even say, oh, I learned how to play the keyboard for 5 years, for 10 years. Why will I bring this skill just to the church, just to serve in the church? This is not
It's
where
too limiting.
It's too small for me. No. I'm supposed to be playing on the big stage, and sadly you miss out on opportunities. There are things that you'd find, there are times that you find precious stones even when you're not looking, even in places. I love how to find, like miners, you have to mine into the earth, the ground, the dirt. You go through all that just to bring out those precious jewels.
She stood to conquer.
Yes. So it's important that you check and realize that even if it seems like it is beneath you, you can find fulfillment doing that thing you think is beneath you. You could find lives changed by that one thing, even cleaning up, the church, or cleaning up your office, or just being in positions that seem like, oh no, God, I'm a graduate, I'm a this, I'm a that, master's, what, PhD. Why would you look at me and you see me and you tell me to do this? No, that's not how we're supposed to be. God talks about humility, and in that humility you can find fulfillment in the rarest of places. So in that situation where you could think that it would not bring you fame, it would not bring you popularity, you would not be among top 20 women in the country or in the world, or you would not be noted by magazines and articles, if all you do is to clean the shoes of a preacher who goes out there and wins lives and wins souls for God, if all you do is to be the person cooking to ensure that those ministers or those people on the big screens or on the big stage are functioning, if all you do is write the scripts just for programs to happen, if all you do is just be behind the scenes handling the cameras, handling things that people don't even check your names, if that's all God has called you to do that thing, stay there, be that person, step into those roles, step into those shoes, because all these parts are necessary for the church to function, for all these things to become impactful situations. So don't just step back and say, no, this is not what I've been training for. I can't have been learning all these hard skills for this long. I can't have studied medicine all this while just to go and be using it to treat people in
the village.
Yes, I mean,
excuse
me.
you.
Right. So don't just limit yourself to looking for the big or seemingly big opportunities, because even in those small opportunities, you don't realize how impactful it can be. Yeah. So you don't lights, stage, or cameras. They will all fade one day, but eventually what lasts beyond that is impact. Yes.
So we should look beyond the gains.
Yes.
When we're trying to be that person, look beyond the gains. Look beyond the blessings. It has become a norm for us to do things so that God will bless us.
Yeah.
Right? So that God will see me that I'm doing this and He will bless me. Let's look beyond what we stand to gain by doing the things we do. Let us look at the impact, like you said, the impact. How does it help? How does it solve a problem? How does it bring peace to other people? How does it help other people enhance themselves? How does it give them opportunities to be great men? A story just came to mind. The Wesley brothers.
Yeah.
Nobody really heard of their mother. But I know I've heard that their mother was the one who was always on her knees, ensuring that her children became something in the world. Now, imagine how seemingly insignificant her efforts in the war room were. And look at how significant her children have become, right?
Yeah.
So those little sacrifices we make by stepping up to be that person can create generational blessings. How many people has the church, Methodist Church, I think that's a church, right?
Yes.
How many people has that church impacted? How many souls have they won? Because one woman decided to go on her knees until she saw the hand of the Lord manifest in the life of her children. She did not give up. So this is us here admonishing ourselves until you see the results of that thing you have been working on, that opportunity you have been trying to make the best of. Until you have seen that result, stay on it until the future has you to thank. No matter how small, but stay on it. Now, let us talk about the regular people around us. We have talked about Bible. Sometimes we talk about the Bible as if it's like folktale. It's not something real. Let's talk about the regular people around us.
Right. So first of all, from the people that are well known, Mary Slessor.
Yes.
Who would have thought that a woman would be the one to stop the killing of twins? Who would have thought? It didn't seem like something likely in the first place, because you'd be wondering, I'm sure there were missionaries that had come before her, people who had tried, people who had done advocacy and all of those things, but a woman stepped up and said, where others tried, I will try again. Tried and failed. Even if I fail, I'll still try. I'll step up and be that person that can, God can use to stop this horrible situation. And I thank God for her, because twins are...
Today, some people want to have twins. Maybe you want to have twins. I don't know. But one woman stood.
Yes.
So it shows, it just reaffirms the power and capacity of a woman, right? You know,
Right.
some people say what a man can do, a woman can do better. I don't know about that, right? But what is most important is the fact that women have to realize that we have innate capacity to do great things. Why? Because we have the life of God in us. It's the same breath of life.
Mm-hmm.
God said he made them male and female. And after creating them, he said, be fruitful, multiply. He did not say men. Your fruitfulness is green. Women, yours is red. No. He said, be fruitful as a woman, be fruitful as a man. So we have capacity enough within us to step up, to be that person. Today we remember her.
Yes, yes, we do. I mean, some schools have hostels named after her. There are many things named after her.
Amazing.
Yes,
And whenever you think of her, you think of what she did.
mm-hmm.
So when somebody thinks of you, what do they remember? That girl, she's a big person bad mouth. If she talks, you know, we've heard of people like that.
Yes.
If she talks to you now, whoa, you sleep crying. Your pillow goes soaked in. There are people that, you know, have such stories about them. But being that person requires that when people think about you, it's about the positive impact you have made in their lives. You know, also remember Dora Akunyili of blessed memory.
Yes.
Anytime we think of Dora Akunyili, we're talking of NAFDAC. And we're like, whoa, what happened to NAFDAC? We're not hearing. And we're having, now, in this dispensation, we're having a lot of fake drugs everywhere. And then when she became Minister for Information, you know, we're having the rebranding. We're trying to rebrand the image of Nigeria and all of that. And those were far-reaching things, ideas that she had as a woman like you and I. We can do great things. We have the capacity to do great things. We just need to harness it. We just need to be in a place where, you know, we allow ourselves to grow, to blossom, to appreciate what we have within us. I think this should also take us a little bit into the power of our association.
Yes.
Everybody is not your friend. Everybody is not your associate. You need to realize that if I am going to be that person, I have to associate with people who understand the direction I am headed. I shouldn't associate with people who talk down on me. I beg, carry this out till they go. You go do it today, tomorrow night, you no go fees up. I beg they go. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's how important our association is. The people we talk to, the people we share our experience with, the people we glean from. It's important that we choose them carefully if we are going to arrive at the destination we desire.
Yes.
I don't know if you have something to add to that.
Oh, they also have a lot of influence. I think you cannot live a life without being influenced in one way or the other. So yes, those associations also have a lot to do with what influences your mindset, influences your thinking, influences even your actions, how you see yourself. So do not let what influences you be something that, you know, is nothing to write home about, or be people who you know that their purpose, or they have decided to live a life without purpose, or live without having a view to change the things or to be impactful, to have impactful lives. So when you associate yourself with people like that, that influence that would come would definitely be one that would detract you from who you're supposed to be, or detract you from who God has made you to be. But when you surround yourself with people whose influence in your life will be positive, will be in line with your own purpose, or will be in line with making you have an impactful life, and I believe that influence can also help you to influence situations and influence people and influence the world at large.
Amazing. So having said that, there's also the aspect of isolating yourself. There are some people who are masters at I beg, I know they find anybody trouble. Make I day my day. You said day your day. I know they come out to my house. I know they go anybody's house, they go find their trouble. So me like this, I day my day. Do you understand? There are people whose mindset is so their mind is isolated from everything happening, isolated from people. And if you're that isolated, can you be that person?
No, there are even some opportunities you cannot find without that network.
Thank
People
you.
are important.
People are important if you want to be that person. Well, our conversation is drawing to a close. But before we go, let's talk a little bit about how to overcome that tendency of shying away from opportunities or shying away from that big break.
First of all is, I think, preparation, adequate preparation. You need to be prepared to be able to step into certain shoes. You need to be prepared. You need to learn.
Recognize.
Yes, you need to learn skills. Skills are important. You don't freestyle life. you need to be deliberate. Yes, God can help you. You know, miracles can happen, and maybe you could never handle public speaking before, and one day God just did it, and you were able to speak beautifully. After that miracle, go back and work on that that skill. Go back and work on it. Be deliberate about working. Yes, be deliberate about getting these things. Yes, they are, you know, you're keeping them to prepare yourself. Remember, we are saying that these opportunities come, you were prepared for them, and then you step up. So that time of preparation, that period where you stop and be ready to handle those situations, it's very, very important. And also prayer can never be overemphasized.
Right.
And then you need to understand that there are many things we need to unlearn. There are many gender stereotypes that you need to remove from your mind. You need to unlearn things that you previously have learned. You need to unlearn sit still, look pretty. You need to unlearn, you know, places where you've been told that, oh no, you should never stand up, you should never speak, you should never talk, keep quiet and say nothing, do nothing. You're a woman, you're supposed
Be
to just
seen and not heard.
Yeah. So you need to unlearn. We need to unlearn certain things that we have been taught by, you know, social media or by the world at large. So when we unlearn all those things and learn that when opportunities arise, by the grace of God, where you believe that the Holy Spirit is leading you to stand up and do those things, and then pray. And if you have those fears, you could also talk to God. That's why I just love the fact that we have the Holy Spirit, because you could always tell him, I want to do this, I'm so scared to do it, please help me. A little prayer of help can help you to have boldness. A little prayer of help can help you to, you know, move mountains. A little prayer of building our faith, you know, in the word of God, praying in the Spirit. It's important to draw strength where our own strength will fail us.
Amazing. I'll just add that parents, mothers, elder sisters, guardians, you see those your young girls, your baby girls at home, we need to keep encouraging them on a daily basis. Let them know that they are the one. They are the one the world is looking for. They hold the key to solving world problems. They hold the key to solving those little problems around the house. Try not to love us too much to shield us from growth, to shield us from opportunities. Allow us to blossom. Trust me, you'll be proud of us when you have seen the results of all the efforts you have put in. Sending us to school is not enough. Allowing us to grow under your watch outside of school is also very important. Having said that, I want to say thank you to every mother, every father, every sister, every brother contributing one thing or the other to the growth of our beautiful girls. Trust me, they are worthy by design from that very little age. And if you allow them, the sky is their starting point. Now they said light is made to shine, not hide away in the shadows. God made you, God made those girls for such a time as this, just like Esther. Now, you were specially made with a beautiful purpose. Stop hiding and step into the light, because trust me, you are worthy by design. It has been a very interesting conversation with my lovely Nonso Oji. It's been good having you.
Thank you for having me.
And trust me, our viewers out there enjoy every bit of this conversation. You can hit us up on Facebook, at Worthy by Design. Tell us how you feel about this conversation. Tell us how it has impacted you. Till we come your way again next week, same time, same station. I remain Ibere Chims, and you remain Worthy by Design. See you next time.